you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The one and only Sydney Sweeney joins us. Sydney, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Tom Hanks and Robin Wright in my favorite movie of the year. Guys, thanks so much for joining the show.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
One of my all-time favorites, Vince Vaughn, joins us right now. Vince, thanks, man.
Oh, great to be with you, Brad, and great to be talking to Houston. Good morning to you.
We got Owen Wilson. We got Judy Greer. Thanks for joining the show, guys.
Thank you.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking to talk to me funny lad.
Meghan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Paris Hilton, the infinite icon herself, is on the show. Paris, love the film.
Thank you. I'm so proud of it.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore!
Gabriel, thank you so much for taking the time to join us in studio, man.
Yes,
Congrats
sir.
on season 3.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you very much.
You know, I was interested about when you have a show that has a third season. Okay, first season is establishing the world,
Yeah.
kind of getting a baseline on what people can expect. Then you come back for a second season. Some of that exposition isn't as much needed because you've already established the world.
Yeah.
So you kind of try to ramp it up and build out the world, and the fan base grows. It was one of the most streamed shows in Netflix history for that second season.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the third season, is it like...
I told you I was going to
hey, you need it. By the time we get to the third season, is it like, hey, I know what we're doing, I understand the mission, this is now more of a seamless transition into this production? Or is it like, man, we really got pressure on because we've delivered season 1, season 2, now season 3. Does pressure feel on, or do you feel more relaxed?
So I think it's different. Like, each season is its own thing, and
Right.
I think you try to make it as good as it can be, obviously. But the tricky thing, I think, for the writers is season 3 is a payoff from 1 and 2. So it's like, if that payoff isn't satisfying, did we drop the ball? And then 3, like, you don't want to be repetitive every time. So it's like, you've introduced the world, but if you start getting redundant and repetitive, then it gets boring and monotonous, and audiences are like, okay, I know what this is. So it's like a fine, I think each season you have to sort of approach by itself and be like, how do we make this better than last season without repeating what didn't work, but also paying off, 1 through. I don't know. I thought they did a good job, though. I think season 3 is
No, they
good.
did a great job. It's amazing. Season 3 is great. Having watched the first few episodes, man, we were talking about it before the cameras rolled.
Yeah.
Just how well the story is laid out there early on in the season. A lot of big action sequences already.
Yeah.
And I had a few questions for you, like acting wise. So like, when you have an action sequence, right? For the layman, when we're watching, it's like, oh, cool, it's a car chase, or it's a fight scene, or it's what have you.
Yeah.
But you have to think about the psychology of the character, right? Of like, not only, hey, he needs to go out and take these guys out, or do this car chase, or perform this stunt, but like, how would the character approach this, as opposed to just approaching it and just doing it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think, I was talking to a few of my buddies in the military, and they were telling me stories about, some of the tier 1 guys that operate, and they get very compartmentalized and almost have a good time, and they're like making jokes. And then you watch movies and they're very like extreme and yelling and stuff like that, and it does get that way. But for the most part, to me at least, it feels like if you've been trained your whole life, or for the past decade, I guess, to perform a job, and then you're put in a position to do that job, you're not a random guy who's doing it. Like, you sort of are able to compartmentalize and say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what the situation requires of me, and I'm going to perform. And it's not necessarily, I think the audience can sometimes feel or I guess the studios want you to feel like, oh, it's a car chase, and you're getting all. It's like, well, I was trained in driving, counter whatever driving. Like I feel like the loose surface stuff, the technical driving capabilities that Peter would have, he's not going to be, what's happening. He'd be like, okay, this is what is. If I think about all that, they're shooting at me, they're whatever, then I lose control of the vehicle. So I got to focus on what I have to do now.
Oh, that makes actually complete sense, and I see that again, like in the character psychology, just the way you play the scenes, and even in, I don't want to give away too much from the show, but even in that first episode, there's a character who even remarks to you, like, you do this all the time, or something like that, because you're so calm, cool, and collected. And that's actually another question I have is like, sometimes when you're reading through a script and you're trying to figure out what the ethos is of the particular character you're playing. In this instance, we're talking about Peter, right? Does sometimes what a line that another character says help inform you more about how Peter is viewed within the world that you're inhabiting? And does that give you any indicators on how you should play the character? Or do you just got to go with what Peter's, internal compass is?
Well, you sort of have to, maybe in the scene, that you would feel that, but what you don't want to do is, just like in conversation, I don't know what you're about to say.
Right.
So I'm me regardless of what you say. And then if you comment on something, then it's like, oh yeah, I guess I am that. And making that novelty in conversation or with that character that you don't know genuine, and sort of learning the script. I think it's like a platitude or a whatever at this point, but learn the script and then forget it sort of thing. Like you have to sort of know where the scene is going, but have everything be new, and that's what's difficult. But yeah, definitely. Like in the scene, is this normal for you, or do you do this all the time? Is like, yeah, I guess I do. It's like, oh yeah.
Someone points something out about yourself, and then you're like, okay, now you clock it, and maybe think about it moving forward. But again, with this show in particular, you also have moments where we see young Peter, right?
Yeah.
Growing up, the adolescence, the prepubescent years, if you will. How does that help you, like, figure out the character? Right? Like, does reading that and reading the early parts of his life, does it help your performance, or does it more so flush out the story for the viewer? Is it more of a benefit to the viewer more so than the actor trying to figure out, this character's pathology?
I think it helps a lot. I think, personally, I wanted to see more this season of what makes this guy, because he risks his life towards the end of the season, and he says something to, this is airing after the season.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He says something to the president.
Yeah.
And like defies orders. And you're like, who is this guy? That he's able to have this level of conviction and adherence to like principle. And to me, do I even want to see those questions answered, or do I just want to see, like, what does the audience want? Is a tricky sort of position, because sometimes when you go to explain something, it's not as cool as what they thought. So like sort of walking that line of like, man, how do you tell people more about this character and more what makes him, why he is this way, without disappointing them with the answer. But that's, that's the writers, that's why.
But isn't it hard to not write the show in your head a little bit, like ahead of the season?
The headcanon, yeah.
Then try to figure out, oh, this is what I would like to see happen.
Dude, headcanon is a crazy. I read fan stuff a lot of, not necessarily with this show, but of like big IPs.
Sure.
And if I was a studio, dude, just find these people and be like, oh, this is amazing. Come with me, write for the show, or come with me, write this movie with me. Because a lot of people like fixate on these worlds and flesh them out in a way that you're like, how are you not doing this for a living?
Yeah.
Like, how do you? And it's very admirable. And I think. There's not a lot of, I won't say not a lot of respect, but like there's not a lot of acknowledgement for some of these fan members that like create these worlds. And you're like, holy cow, and this is crazy. This is your Star Wars story, that like this happens in Star Wars. And I'm not even a huge fan of Star Wars, but like I'll read some of this stuff just out of interest of like, man, this guy's a genius. Like, how is he not writing the next movie? So I'm
the same way. Like I go down, like there's a Back to the Future Reddit, and I love Back to the Future, it's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
So I always read like, sometimes the fan theories are like you said, just the way that they view it, who they've spent their whole life thinking about.
That's what I'm
moments.
saying. Yeah, and like it's treated like content for these big studios and stuff.
Yeah.
But for some people, like the minute their brains start making sense of things, in their special way. It's like, it's incredible. And I think, yeah, maybe having a department at Netflix that like finds these people and pulls them would be.
It's actually not a bad idea, to be honest with you.
Pretty great.
A couple more things before we wrap up. So obviously the show deals with some big government conspiracies at times, and cover-ups and things of that nature, and the intricacies of, the shadow realm of government and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But here's my question. So like I became like a big like everybody, I went into the JFK conspiracy, and I had to go to Dallas and walk the Daily Plaza and look at where Oswald was and all those things and come up with my own theories. And then I started to see conspiracies and everything after that. And it's like I turned on a switch in my brain, so that's all I can look at. Well, after you go through a show like this for 3 seasons, are you in a moment where you just question everything all the time?
I was already like that.
You were already like that?
I flipped that switch a long time ago. I flipped it, I remember, it was with the sinking of the Lusitania in World War I that got us in there. And I remember, because I love history, and I was reading it all, and I found this part where now, like 3 decades later, we admitted to trafficking munitions on the Lusitania, whereas before it was this big, it was a civilian ship. And I just remember reading that and going, wait, like, what? Like, you guys just said, oopsies, we lied. And to me, that was a crazy sort of eye opener. And then you have like Billy Mitchell and stuff, the Air Force guy warning about Pearl Harbor and all these things. Sure. And you're like, it's just a crazy sort of, I don't know, and not necessarily a rabbit hole, but you see systems that you aren't able to hold accountable, full of people that are fallible. Like, of course, there's going to be holes and lies and like, whoopsies,
Yeah. Well, that's what what the show covers, right? I mean, what do you say that again? Systems that are what?
Systems that you can't hold accountable, full of people that are fallible. Like,
What a great way to say it.
You're going to naturally, as a human being, try to fill in gaps, and those people are naturally going to lie.
Yeah.
So it's sort of an Ouroboros of conspiracy. Like, you're going to find lies and discrepancies. I mean, look at the files, dude. Like, it gets crazy where you're like, what? How are we just lying? Like, how
constantly?
Yeah.
I mean,
and there's no accountability.
No accountability, and maybe there will be some. Hopefully, let's hope
Peter,
so.
dude, season 4.
Peter needs to do it. Season 4, but let's tell people for season 3. Okay, give me like just 1-2 line. Like, how excited are you for people to watch it, and what do you want the experience to be like for the audience?
I'm psyched. Look, I love that people love the show. I just want people to feel like they didn't waste 10 hours of their life. That's my goal. With anything that I make, whether it's a movie or whatever, just like, my goal is for you to walk away from that experience and either be entertained or like be, the question that we were asking you can then answer. Because I remember, watching Gladiator as a kid. I still have scenes of that movie in my head.
Sure.
And this is like 20 years later.
Of course.
And I feel like that was 2 hours of my time that then changed my life. And I don't think that this medium, or I guess the studios and stuff, treat it with enough respect of like, dude, you could change someone's life in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that to me is, I just want either entertainment or like to genuinely affect someone with 10 hours. Because that's a lot of time, dude. You could be out with your kids or like hanging out. Hike a mountain or something.
Well, it's a big investment, but it's an investment that's well worth it. Because if people watch season 1, season 2, y'all ramp it up for season 3. As you were saying before we rolled, I think it's the best season you have, and from what I've seen, I can completely agree with that. The Night Agent is going to be streaming on Netflix. Gabriel, man, I really appreciate you taking the time, man.
Likewise.
Appreciate the conversation.